Hello, it's Saturday the 11th of June. You're tuned in to our 6 p.m. newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. It's very good to have you with us. I'm Mark Broom. Our top story this evening, Korea's rival political parties have settled on who will take the chair posts of the National Assembly's 18 standing committees. All that remains now is for lawmakers to pick the specific chairpersons. An official opening ceremony for the 20th National Assembly will take place on Monday morning. Our Park Ji-won starts us off.
Korea's National Assembly is scheduled to elect on Monday the chairpersons who will lead 18 standing committees for the next 2 years. Ahead of the plenary session vote, lawmakers qualified for the chair posts are slugging it out for the top jobs. By custom in Korea, 3-term or 4-term lawmakers who have not yet chaired any standing committees are qualified to be candidates. In the case of the ruling Saenuri Party, 24 lawmakers satisfy those conditions. Of those, a third will be elected to chair 8 standing committees. During negotiations between the rival parties this week, the Saenuri Party took 8 standing committees chair posts, including the influential Judiciary and House steering committees. 3-term lawmakers and former judges Hong Il-pyo and Yeo Sang-gyu and 3-term lawmaker and former prosecutor Kwon Song-dong are considered the strongest candidates to lead the Judiciary Committee. The main opposition Minju Party of Korea, which has a wafer-thin majority in the Assembly, will fill 8 chair posts as well, including the Special Committee Chair for Budget. While the Liberal Party hopes to strengthen its control of the nation's budget, it looks to be a two-way race between 3-term lawmaker and former tax accountant Baek Jae-hyun and former lawyer and former chief policy maker of the party Lee Chun-seok. The minor opposition People's Party has already reportedly nominated 2 3-term lawmakers, former government officials Yoo Sang-yap and Jang Byung-wan, as chairs of the Education and Industry Committees. The 20th National Assembly will have an official opening ceremony on Monday morning. President Park Geun-hye is expected to deliver a speech commemorating the event. Since 1987, Korea's sitting president has always delivered a speech upon the opening of a new National Assembly. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
The United States is reviewing even more sanctions on North Korea after the Treasury Department recently designated Pyongyang as a primary money laundering concern. State Department Deputy Spokesman Mark Toner says the United States is looking into other measures related to North Korea. He noted how, during the recent US-China strategic and economic dialogue, China said it shared concerns about North Korea's behavior, but was worried about the severity of sanctions on the regime. The spokesman also said that sanctions are only as strong as they are implemented, adding that Washington is urging its partners to fully implement the international sanctions against North Korea for its nuclear and missile provocations. A new United Nations report estimates that North Korea could be facing its worst food shortage since 2011. Citing the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization, the Washington-based Voice of America says the shortfall will be almost 700,000 tons. North Korea's rice harvest dropped by more than a quarter to under 2 million tons last year from a year earlier. Its corn harvest recorded an on-year drop to 2.3 million tons in 2015. Still, North Korea saw its harvest of other cereals like beans and buckwheat increased by about 35% last year. The UN agency says beans are now the main source of protein for the North Korean people. Now, to an update on the news Friday that Chinese fishing boats were illegally fishing in the Han River estuary. The Navy and Maritime Police, together with the UN Command, resumed their joint operation Saturday to drive out Chinese boats still lingering in nearby waters. South Korea's Joint Chiefs of Staff says its 2-day crackdown is aimed at repelling Chinese vessels taking stocks out of neutral waters as declared by the 1953 Armistice Agreement. Government officials say about 10 Chinese boats that retreated into North Korea-controlled waters on Friday were still in the general area as of early Saturday. Illegal Chinese fishing in that area has exploded over the past 2 years. Only 3 Chinese boats entered the zone in 2014, but this number swelled to 120 last year and currently stands at over 520 so far this year. Now, it has emerged that Samsung Electronics has a glowing reputation among young consumers in the United States. The US-based market research firm, the Sejong Institute, said the Korean tech giant got the highest marks in its survey of 18 to 34-year-olds. The institute said young Americans liked and trusted Samsung for its attractive marketing campaigns, active social responsibility and company culture. Nike, Johnson & Johnson, Intel and Sony, in that order, rounded out the rest of the top 5. The King Sejong Institute has been promoting Korean culture around the world through its Korean language classes. Starting this year, a branch in China will also work to spread the Korean wave. Our Park Sejong has the details.
At this tourism college in China, students enroll in Korean language classes and study traditional Korean culture. K-pop dance classes are especially popular after the rise of the Korean drama Descendants of the Sun. Classes like these will soon become more prevalent at the college's King Sejong Institute, a language school that's become known for promoting Korean culture. The institute has been designated by the Culture Ministry and the King Sejong Institute Foundation as the first Sejong Culture Academy with a mission to help spread the Korean wave. Under the pilot program, the Academy will offer lectures and experience programs for 6 weeks this month and next.
This is not just a dissemination of language and culture, but it's ultimately linked to the Korean economy.
There are 138 King Sejong Institutes in 54 countries across the world. With the Sejong Culture Academy, Korea seeks to expand beyond language education and promote the Korean wave. Park Se-young, Arirang News.
Now, the US presidential race has shifted its focus to Washington, with the Democrats rallying around their presumptive nominee Hillary Clinton. Her Republican rival Donald Trump spent his time wooing top donors and evangelical voters. Vice President Joe Biden and Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren joined President Obama on Friday in endorsing Clinton. There's speculation Warren may be tapped as Clinton's running mate after the two met privately at Clinton's home in Washington. In a speech Friday, Clinton said Trump would take America backwards. Speaking shortly after her, in a different location of course, Trump declared Clinton, quote, unfit to be president. He also claimed her immigration, education and trade policies would harm working families. Staying with international news, and the tables have turned and there has been a massive swing to Brexit in the United Kingdom. The campaign to leave the European Union has opened up a remarkable 10-point lead over the Remain camp. The exclusive poll conducted by the British daily The Independent found 55% believe the British people, the British nation, should leave the EU, up 4 points since the last poll in April. 45% wanted to remain. That is down 4 points. The figures are weighted to take into account people's likelihood of actually going to vote. A year ago, it was Remain who enjoyed a 10-point lead. Brits will head to the polls on June 23rd. Now, ginger is a widely used ingredient in many parts of the world. It's used not only for its flavour, but also has many health benefits. Now, a new study shows that ginger could also be effective in preventing cavities. Kim Mo-kyun tells us more.
Ginger is a common and very popular ingredient used in many dishes around the world, including Korea's staple kimchi. The flowering plant is also widely enjoyed for its medicinal properties, such as its effectiveness in revealing digestive problems, reducing nausea, and fighting colds. But a recent research showed that ginger possesses more health benefits than previously thought. A team from Korea University has found a special trait of a substance called raffinose, which contributes to the sweet flavor in ginger and is found in various plants such as cabbage. According to the researchers, the natural substance has the capability to inhibit biofilm formation of various kinds of bacteria. Biofilms are collections of microorganisms that are difficult to eradicate. They are usually formed on surfaces such as the teeth, where they build up, causing various dental conditions, including cavities. The research team suggests that the latest discovery of the use of raffinose could prevent the occurrence of such problems.
If raffinose is used in manufacturing toothpaste, breath fresheners, and even chewing gum, it could be effective in preventing cavities.
The professor said that raffinose can also be helpful in boosting the effectiveness of antibiotics, as it inhibits biofilm formation and allows the medicine to penetrate more easily to the infected area. Kim Mo-gyun, Arirang News.
Now, finally, we're going to leave you with a brief overview of the weekend weather. Now, most of the central region has been seeing rain across the course of today, and we will have a few on and off light showers throughout the night in Seoul. Sunday is going to be dry and partly cloudy in Seoul, but we can expect rain in the southern parts of the country. Afternoon highs will range mostly in the mid to high 20s. With that, let's take a look at the weather around the world. Well, that's all we have for now. Do enjoy the rest of your Saturday wherever you're watching us, and stay tuned to Arirang TV. We'll be back with our next newscast coming up, as always, at 10 p.m. Korea time. So until then, goodbye.